Survival shows have always been a staple in the K-pop industry, but the announcement of the new show, Under 15, is an outrage. This upcoming show, targeting contestants aged 3-15, has crossed every conceivable line of decency and ethics. Imagine a 3-year-old on stage, subjected to the cutthroat, high-pressure environment of a survival show. It's not just absurd, it's grotesque. The thought alone should make anyone's blood boil. This isn't about discovering young talent. It's about the shameless exploitation of children for profit, and it's downright disgusting. The emotional and psychological damage to these young contestants is inevitable. The K-pop industry is notorious for its grueling training regimes and sky-high expectations. For adults, it's a brutal path. For children, it's a nightmare. Subjecting kids, some barely out of diapers, to this environment is beyond unethical. It's a recipe for severe, long-term mental health issues. The public scrutiny and relentless pressure of survival shows are too much for many adults to handle. How can anyone in their right mind expect children to cope? The backlash on social media has been fierce, and rightly so. Fans and the general public are seething with anger, calling for a boycott of this monstrosity. The very idea of toddlers competing in such an environment is not only ludicrous but deeply disturbing. Allowing this to happen normalizes the exploitation of minors in the entertainment industry, setting a dangerous precedent. Consider the historical examples of child stars who have suffered from being thrust into the spotlight too early. JoJo Siwa's experiences with intense pressure and questionable practices as a young performer highlight the potential harm. Her struggles with mental health are a stark warning of the long-term damage such exploitation can cause. Moreover, the legal and ethical implications of this show are staggering. Child labor laws exist for a reason, to protect young minds and bodies from exploitation and harm. Yet, this show seems to blatantly disregard these protections in favor of ratings and profit. It's a grotesque display of corporate greed overshadowing basic human decency. We cannot stand idly by while children are subjected to this kind of abuse. Under 15 is not just a bad idea. It's an abomination that needs to be shut down before it can cause irreparable harm to innocent children. The industry's history of treating idols poorly is well documented. Trainees and idols often face extreme diets, rigorous schedules, and little personal freedom. For a child, this is not just demanding, it's damaging. It disrupts their development, education, and overall well-being. The long-term effects on their mental and physical health can be severe, leading to issues like anxiety, depression, and eating disorders. Even if some children express a desire to participate, it's the responsibility of adults to protect them from harm, not to exploit their naivety. The pressure to succeed, the fear of failure, and the relentless competition are not suitable environments for young children. They should be playing, learning, and growing in a safe and nurturing environment, not battling it out on a stage for the world to judge. We must also consider the message this sends to the public. By supporting such shows, we are essentially endorsing the exploitation of children. It tells entertainment companies that it's acceptable to use children for profit, regardless of the harm it causes them. This cannot be allowed to become the norm. Furthermore, the discrepancy between how different contestants might be treated is also concerning. Historically, we've seen favoritism in survival shows, where certain contestants receive better training, more screen time, and favorable editing. For children, this can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy and rejection, which can have lasting psychological impacts. It's also worth noting that the fan culture around these shows can be incredibly toxic. Young contestants might face online harassment and bullying, which are already significant issues in the industry. For a child, this can be overwhelming and detrimental to their mental health. The entertainment industry must be held accountable for its actions. Regulations need to be enforced to protect minors from exploitation. Companies should be prohibited from involving children in such high-stress, high-stakes environments. Instead, they should focus on nurturing young talent in a safe and supportive way. The time for action is now. We need to speak out against under 15 and similar shows. Boycott them, spread awareness, and push for stricter regulations. Let's protect these children from an industry that sees them as mere commodities. Their well-being should always come before profit. This is a call to action. Boycott the show, speak out against it, and protect these kids from an industry that sees them as nothing more than tools for profit. The exploitation of children must end now. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.